Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another wonderful week of the Overwatch League. I am Doa. That's Monte Cristo. Guess what? It's week 5, the final week of stage 2. It's going to be exciting. Playoffs are on the line. I can't wait to get started.
And we're back from Dallas. Had a great stand weekend. That was really fun. Thank you to all of you who came out. What a wonderful audience that was.
Yeah, I mean, the crowd was like so crazy. Everybody was cheering. Got to meet a lot of cool fans. Got to see a lot of fun games. And the team that hosted us at Dallas Field will be playing in our first match today. They're going to be going up against the Florida Mayhem. And this is going to be, like, Dallas is on track to have, like, the best stage they've ever had in the Overwatch League, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. And this is their chance to punch their ticket to those stage playoffs. Obviously, ending at 5-2 would put them in a very comfortable place. And considering they're up against a team that has yet to win a match this stage, the Florida Mayhem, currently at the bottom of our standings, they seem primed to accomplish that goal.
I think so. I mean, Dallas Field wins and they're in, and Florida should be, one of the opponents they're happiest about facing. But man, homestand weekend, that was so much fun, dude.
I mean, it was really awesome to have our first home games. You could really see the support for Dallas and also for Houston. Many of the Outlaws fans also making the trip, and the atmosphere was pretty electric, and it helps when your home team does go 2-0.
I liked when the Houston Flyers mascot came out, but he's dressed in green, so like, or the Dallas rather, and the fans were confused because they thought he was from Houston, just like I kind of confuse everybody right now.
you just hit it up. Wow, congrats.
I wanted to bring the feeling that the Houston fans felt, and the Dallas fans felt, and I think I did that successfully.
So it was the Dallas Stars hockey mascot.
I don't know.
And it was green, and that's why
hockey.
Yeah, it's confusing people.
Anyway, hey guys, let's get the match started. Let's hear it for our first team in this one, the Dallas Fuel. And here they come. Closer leading the way as the Fuel take the stage. And we'll see if they have what it takes to go 5-2 in stage 2, punch their ticket to the playoffs. I think by all indications they are in a pretty good spot to do that.
Yes, they are, and I think especially coming off that win against their Texas rivals, the Houston Outlaws, a lot of this stage, when the Fuel start to lose, it seems like they lose a lot of their composure and can tend to get in their own heads a little bit and then drop maps or even matches that they shouldn't. However, this time, they really fought all the way through, and you can see that synergy, as we talked about on Watch Point, between Note and OG developing.
Certainly coming in with the momentum anyway. Their opponents, though, still looking for that first win here in the stage. Let's hear it for other team, the Florida Mayhem. And a team with a lot of fans, despite not a lot of success yet in this stage. You know, we've been talking about these guys a little bit. You know, they're on the road to rebuilding. We're still kind of waiting to see where that goes. But for now, this is what you got.
Yeah, they're playing for their starting spots. We've said that over and over and over again. We've heard the management behind this team saying that they are making roster additions, but until those additions are made, and not likely, it seems, until stage 3 at this stage with the last week of stage 2 competition, Florida Mayhem out of that playoff picture. So we're just going to have to sit around and wait and see which players this team is going to add. In the meantime, though, we have seen some glimmers from the Florida Mayhem.
Oh, yeah.
This stage, I think they've played the best Overwatch that they've played this year in this stage. So even though they haven't taken that match victory and are unlikely to today, they still at least seem like they're improving.
I agree. So the star of the Dallas homestand weekend couldn't be anyone else besides this guy right here on your screen, OG, and what a story for him to get from where he was into Korea to where he was on stage over the weekend, huh?
Yeah, I think it really mattered for OG's confidence. Obviously, he's a young guy, he's only 19 years old, and in his home nation of Korea, had a lot of troubles with the fans, wasn't a very popular player, to the degree, he was actually suspended for some of his actions at the start of his Overwatch League career, and on the Korean broadcast, they wouldn't even say his ID in the first matches of the Overwatch League, and I think this is just a wonderful story for him, because out of all this negative attention, here he comes into Dallas, and there's thousands and thousands of fans chanting his name in the arena. And you understand why he got so emotional. He wants to put his past behind him and really focus on his play here in the Overwatch League. And I think it was a very special moment for him to be in that crowd in Dallas.
Absolutely agree. Going from the people not being willing to say your name to thousands chanting it in front of you.
It's pretty
what a
sick.
story, huh?
It's pretty sick.
Let's check out our map set brought to you by Toyota. Going to start things off on Busan. That's going to be our control map. Then going to Temple of Anubis. Kings Row will be hybrid. And finally Rialto for escort if we need it, of course. That fifth and final control map. I feel like I've said that a lot this stage, but you and I, we haven't really gotten a lot of game fives. We've gotten a couple, but
Just a couple.
not as many as some other duos have been blessed with this stage, I think. But we'll see where this one goes. Obviously, Dallas coming in as the heavy favorites, but Florida Mayhem showing, little sparks of life here and there. Perhaps they can turn that spark into a raging bonfire today. Probably not, but maybe, right?
Spark's not playing today, though, but that's fine.
No spark.
No spark.
We have too many like energy, excitement names.
I agree.
I
agree. They really should have capped those.
They're taking all of our words away, Monty. What else? What are we supposed to say on the cast from now on?
The next expansion team's going to be the energy, no doubt.
I know, right? Yeah, that's right. We're just gonna call them something like, kill or something like that. Here we go, getting things started here on Busan. The teams facing off, OG and Swan staring each other down. OG moving forward, though. See how aggressive Dallas wants to be with this one. That was a nice fire struck on the Saya player, though.
Yeah, you can see right here, Zachary looked like he may have been going for the Sombra at the start, but instead we are going to come out of the gate here with mirror compositions, and Saya player actually gets the first pick onto AKM. That is massive.
That's a great start for Florida as they walk forward with the advantage here. OG, low health, he's gonna go down as well, and Florida Mayhem. We talked about that spark growing into a roaring flame. Well, I would say it's like, pleasant fireplace at this point. It's more than a spark, but at least they got the control percent going.
Yeah, and they did play a very patient game, waiting for positional error. Catching up to Zarya first is absolutely huge. Does deprive the team of a lot of that damage output that you get with that hero. Now Dallas Fuel have to retake. Florida Mayhem, they are 1-3 on Busan this map. So far in the Overwatch League this year, Dallas Fuel is, they're up there at 3-1, so pretty unexpected first result at least.
OG goes for the shatter, doesn't get a whole lot. Hagupin there with the transcendence on the Florida side. Now the grab comes in from BQP as well. Florida trying to eliminate the fuel. There comes the charge. Oh, double kill from Zephyr, self-destruct, and then a nice shatter to follow it up. That's gonna seal the deal. Probably didn't need to drop the shatter, but it's certainly made for a clean ending to that fight.
Yeah, they are just going to stagger the Diva as well. Note not having a lot of options, so some free control percent now as they have to wait for Note to respawn.
Yeah.
Crucially, though, they did bait out Hagupin's Transcendence. That means that AKM, considering he's closer to that Graviton Surge, if he gets it, Florida Mayhem may have some trouble defending against that damage, but Dallas feel pretty far behind on the ult economy game right now.
Yeah, even if Florida Mayhem does give over the point now, they're going to have a lot of kind of leisure as far as how they can build up some ultimates and come back in again.
Yeah, Hagupin also is now matching that ult charge, so that window is closing.
Yep. AKM getting close to that Graviton Surge, but they're gonna have to try to get some of the Florida support ultimates out before they really kind of get going with this. It's gonna be the rally from Saya player off the bat. That's a lot of damage here. The grab comes in, gonna get another transcendence up from Hagupin. No,
nice shatter!
The shatter helps Note pick up the double kill, and that's that tank synergy that we're really seeing from Dallas right now. Note and OG have been working so well together on this team.
Wow, that shatter was absolutely huge because it prevented Chris from getting that sound barrier down. However, now we do see things switching back. Couple of kills, but at the end of that fight, it's all Florida Mayhem on that point. They've got all 6 members to flip it back.
I mean, it was looking good for Dallas, but Florida managed to just kind of stick on it and grind it out in the end. And so only 25% built up by Dallas in that scuffle.
They're gonna have to come back and try and taxi the Zenyatta here. Unco coming back with closer, but really nothing to work with. Meanwhile, sound barrier, Florida can just rush them with this sound barrier.
Pretty much. I mean, they've got the ult advantage right now, but they've got a fairly small window as Dallas should be having, maybe the grab coming up fairly soon. Zach's gonna have his rally. Florida not giving him a chance, so they're going in with the sound barrier. There's a nice shatter too, and that's an easy cleanup for Florida. Like you mentioned, Monty, they have the ult advantage. They can just kind of walk in and do it.
Yeah, and what they were waiting for was BQB's Graviton Surge, and then they cover their approach, and the fact that they can just swing away freely with the Reinhardt because they have that sound barrier. Very clean play from the Florida Mayhem.
Yeah, they look great. And if we think back to the last match we saw them in too, I think that's the one where we were saying this is the best we've seen Florida yet in stage 2. And if that's any indication from what we just saw on this last map, I'd say today might be even a little bit better.
Yeah, they have been better on control, to be fair to the Florida Mayhem.
True enough.
Just not on Busan in particular. But taking a look at this, I mean, it's a great start. Only 3 of their players were eliminated, or 4 of their players were eliminated in that. 20-4 in terms of elimination, so very one-sided.
You ever wonder why they have that wall that goes up and down in the mecha base? It seems like if you're flying your mech back into the base, that's not the time you want a wall randomly coming up from the ground.
Yeah, it does seem very odd
I think
that
they
way,
kind of
right?
need to do a little bit of redesigning here. This is, I mean, there's a reason why Diva might be the only one left. I don't know.
I mean, to be fair, they don't care if they blow up their mechs, so.
That is true. Okay, touche. Touche, Monte Cristo. Mech safety is clearly not a concern for Mecha. Dallas Fuel, no concern for them as they're able to win this first fight in style here. Unko popping off, taking out Zephyr, and should be Dallas getting the control percent going quick.
Yeah, Unko managed to get the early pickoffs right now, already 50% of the way through his trans. Hakapun gets some more damage laid down, though.
That's great, because he's getting really close to his transcendence as well, and that's something Florida might need when they want to retake.
Yeah, they're coming back right now, trying to make it through this choke point.
All right, here we go. Florida getting aggressive. Zachary does have the rally to use in that Brigida, giving his team that extra armor as they try to fend off Florida. Florida, though, ready to drop down from the high ground. As you can hear, the walls are about to come up again, so that's a little bit more line of sight that Dallas has to kind of protect themselves on the point, for a short while anyway. OG just looking for that fat shatter.
You can see the setup there. The shatter comes through, not going to get anybody.
Yeah, BQB has his shield. Was able to avoid that with the Zarya shield. OG walking forward. Now it's Swan, the first to go down, actually. Note, finishes him off.
Yeah, it's going to walk up. Florida not going to give them any more ult charge. Gets out of there very quickly. Good shot calling from Florida to beat a hasty retreat.
Yeah.
Dallas Fuel almost halfway through the necessary percent on this point. Florida Mayhem have some tools, though. They do have the first Graviton coming through.
Yeah, AKM is so close to his as well, though. So by the time the fight begins, it'll probably be pretty even as far as that goes. If they can kill AKM before he gets his grab, that'd be huge. See if they can do it.
See if they're waiting for the rally. Could be the trigger here for the Florida Mayhem. They can play aggressively.
AKM does have his ultimate on that Zarya right now. And he's going to use it. Grab. Pulls a couple members of Florida in. Was it really the grab they wanted, though? I don't know. Swan getting the Transcendence healing from Hagobin now. Dallas just waits this one out. There's a rally now coming in from Psy player as Florida tries to take control of the point. They've muscled Dallas off of it anyway. And now they can use the ground. Can they kill OG? Oh, he's going to counter shatter onto Swan. Self-destruct block though. But note, that one goes through. 3K from the Diva ult on the Dallas side.
And Florida just is not striking quickly enough. They had a pretty substantial ultimate advantage, but every time a team plays passively, tries to poke out for just a little bit more ult percentage, the team is going to, on the other side, is just going to get those ults right back up and match you, and that's what happens for Dallas.
Yeah, you got to be really tight about your knowledge of the team's ultimates on the other side, right? Because there's really small windows in the 3-3 meta right now that you need to exploit if you're going to take the point. And Florida just a couple seconds off there, and that means a quick 100-0 round for the Dallas Fuel. So we will go to Shrine, the final round on Busan, to see who takes the map.
It was smart, though, I think, for Dallas to use that Graviton pretty aggressively in that last fight, though, because it gives them more time to build up their critical ultimates, right? Slow them down a little bit, force Florida to play defensively.
Yeah.
So both teams going to be heading out here for the final point.
Oh, and Unko may be expecting a little bit of DPS on the Florida side with that Moira pick. We'll see if he switches it.
Yeah, they definitely are. They may just take a look here. A lot of teams on this point will go ahead and scout and then turn back and switch. They're definitely expecting that. Translocator comes through for AKM, right back onto the Zarya. Wants to play the Reinhardt 3-3 mirror.
Note just destroyed a priceless wooden window. Been around for generations. He just shoots it. Wow, this is Diva's country. What is she doing?
She has no respect for the past, though.
Apparently. Wow, kids these days. Millennials, am I right? Man. Dallas Fuel trying to come into the point right now. Florida Mayhem got there first, obviously, because of the swaps Dallas needed to do. They're going to get the control percent going at least. Swan really low, though. Can they keep him alive? No, they can't. AKM taking him down. Dallas gets a 65. Oh, but Hagopin equalizing. This guy's a star of Florida right now. No doubt. Can he keep it up, though? OG taking a ton of damage. Hagopin really making Dallas think twice about their aggression here.
I mean, he's doubling Unko's ult charge right now. He already has that Transcendence, and he just goes ahead and uses it.
I gets charged, but he stays alive because of the ultimate, at least. And that's Florida Mayhem pushing Dallas back. Man, Hagopin did a ton of damage in there, and they finally take out AKM. That was great from Florida.
Yeah, that was great from Hagopin. I mean, it allowed them to chunk out the members of the Dallas Fuel's front line because they were able to push forward with the Transcendence. You can see Ungo still doesn't have the trance, and Hagoben's 30% of the way through his second right now.
Yeah. Well, now Dallas is going to have some options when they come back in here. Going to have ultimates, going to have the grab, should have a bunch of support ultimates. See if they can use that edge to flip the point.
I mean, BQB should play aggressively with the grab right now because they don't have a support ult to really survive through AKMs, and that's what he's going to do.
Yeah, he's going to do that. They need to change what's in the kills. Huge Zephyr with the self-destruct. Transcendence comes out from Unko as the Shatter comes down from OG. They're going to turn that into a kill on the Saya player. Now, Note did get D-Mech through all that, so they're without it, but it looks like the rest of Dallas trying to pick up the slack, but they do lose OG.
Oh, they're playing aggressively too. Sound Barrier doesn't go on to BQB though.
Yeah, well, Sound Barrier on enough of Florida anyway to push people back again. AKM getting close to another grab here too. BQB roasted, and Florida Mayhem pushed back, so finally, Dallas should get some control percent.
Yeah, and they are going to flip it here, and they are going to have an ultimate advantage for quite a while. Florida Mayhem committed a lot to that fight, hoping that they were going to be able to win that fight and just go ahead and take Busan the map as a whole right there. Doesn't happen, which means now they're going to have to play a catch-up game. Luckily, they have an entire 100% to do that, so it's all about conserving your ultimates, engineering what we call economy pushes, which are trying to force your opponents to use ults while you retain yours and make a favorable trade.
Speaking of ults, there goes the grab from AKN, trying to kill Swan. Nice charge by OG to take him out of the fight. He's going to finish him off as well. That is how you aggressively use ults.
Yep. Go ahead, push the advantage that you have right there. They did D-Mech Note, so you have to keep an eye on how fast he's going to get his Diva mech back right now. Late elimination onto Hagopun will stagger his respawn with the rest of his teams. They have to wait for that one. Note, still not even 70% back to his mech yet. Maybe an opportunity here if they can dodge some of those shots. You can see they're hiding from the spam right now.
Yeah.
Don't want to use Swan's barrier points to do that, and do not want to give Note his mech back.
He could be walking forward with a good amount of charge. Decent damage coming out of that Zarya right now.
Got his mech back.
About the grab. Right?
Great timing.
Grab. Can they turn it into something? Self-destruct. Ooh, that was a nice one. Gets Zachary. Zephyr goes down though. No takes him out with his Diva ultimate. Now Florida Mayhem just trying to maintain control of the point. They haven't flipped it back just yet, but they are
Big shatter.
Great shatter from Swan. The charge.
Nice
He gets booped.
Away from Unko.
Unko lives. No, Swan gets him anyway. Florida turning this one around. At the end of the day, Note trying to do what he can. He's going to lose that mech. Florida does flip the point back into their favor, but can they win the fight here?
I mean, BQB's still alive here with a lot of energy, about 50%. So they're trying to get it back. Sound barrier up so that they can just charge in.
OG backs off a little bit. They know they've got a slight amount of time. AKM kills BQB, and now Dallas striking back again at the last possible moment. They retake the point. Wow, what a crazy fight.
Yeah, very interesting. Great focus fire onto BQB at the end. They realized there wasn't a lot of healing because it was just the Lucio there. Meanwhile, Lucio and Brigitte on the side of Dallas Fuel providing more consistent healing output. They're going to touch here. More overtime. Swan's going to come in. Hagapun now on the Tracer.
Lots of swaps. Oh, but the Shatter comes in from OG once more. Try to make it out with that Sombra. BQB escapes, but not a lot of health remaining in Florida. Can't get back to it. It's going to be Dallas taking the map.
Narrow win for Dallas. They have to come back from nearly 100 to 0.
Yeah.
Florida Mayhem coming out swinging, showing some really impressive play by their standards.
They are indeed, but Dallas having the poise, getting the win, taking the lead in this series. Quick break, and when we come back, map number 2.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Welcome back, guys, to the Overwatch League. Don't forget, legendary All-Star Lucio and Mercy skins are coming up May 7th and 22nd for 200 Overwatch League tokens. There's actually not a whole lot. 200 each, you can get those 6 skins. I'm going to pick them up. I don't play much Mercy. I do play a lot of Lucio. So, yeah, that's nice to have them, right?
You know, they both support skins, though. Come on.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's like, well, it's good for me, right?
It's great for you.
Yeah, I'm not complaining about this.
Support players
We had
of the
2
world.
DPS skins last year.
Rejoice.
Come on.
Yeah, I know. See, as a tank player, just saying.
Well, I mean, your tank players are like conditioned to feel sad all the time. So really, this is par for the course for you.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Anubis coming up. It's going to be our assault map between these two teams. As you can see, Dallas Fuel narrowly taking the win on Busan. We'll see if they can keep the streak going here on our second map in this series, Florida Mayhem. Not looking too bad in that first map, though, were they?
No, and especially for a team that I think has struggled on Busan overall, only taking 1 win and 3 losses on that map. So coming out with some fight in them, to be sure. They are one of the teams that did not join us for the Dallas homestand, so a little bit of extra time to prepare for this match.
Not that we, wouldn't have wanted them there. It's not like we told them they couldn't come or something.
They're going on the next homestand.
We did kind of tell them that they couldn't come, I suppose. But not because we don't like them.
They will be at the Atlanta homestand.
That's right.
Towards the end of Stage 3. Another
Be a
thing
fun one.
that you can look forward to if you are an Overwatch League fan in the Southeast.
Sure enough, Dallas Fuel on the attack, going for the 3-3 with the Reinhardt this time. It's going to be the Winston 3-3 from the Florida Mayhem, and as they try to set up their defense.
The precaution against a DPS heavy composition, so sometimes you just have to make this decision, even though it is worse. We do see Swan coming up right there. Bubble down on him, good timing on the Zarya bubble and his own bubble to help him maximize that charge, but he actually didn't get quite a lot. 25% to a Primal Rage at this point on an approach is not awesome. Does get up to over 40% now, though, and he's going to have another opportunity. This is really the last chance you get before they drop onto the point to get your Primal up.
You want to be about 2/3 of the way there, maybe, and he did reach that.
He got it.
It looked a bit dicey at first, but he got there anyway. All right, AKM, he's got that great high ground position that a lot of teams like to put their Zaryas on right now. Hard to contest. Oh, he gets knocked down, though. That is something. See if Swan can get up to that Primal Rage. Gets stunned. Oh, he was down to 20 health. That was super close, but he stayed alive.
Yeah, how do they contest the point now, though? He's so low.
I don't know. You got to get the Zarya shield on him. They do just that. He does get the Primal Rage. Zephyr really low in his mech, though. Swan needs to stay alive more than anything. Here comes the self-destruct from Note. Ooh, it catches Zephyr, actually. That's a problem. Now AKM full charge on this Zarya, and I don't think he's going to need to use the grab. He should not. Dallas have this point.
Yeah, they do. And this is the problem with not getting Primal fast enough, as you can see, just in terms of Overwatch theory on that point. You've got about 4 points that you can contest. Try and get your Primal up. If it's not up on the point, you end up giving up free ticks and have to re-engage with it. And it's just nowhere near as good.
Yeah. This grab almost gets eaten. Zephyr was standing right there. That doesn't matter, though, because in the end, OGE just decides to kill everybody with a hammer. And both grabs eaten in the end, which is pretty funny. But Dallas Fuel crushed this point. Whoa, that was fast.
Lightning speed.
Like 6:07 on the clock or something like that.
Yeah, Dallas Fuel, plenty of time bank, needless to say.
Wow.
It's about as fast as you can take Anubis, as it were.
Kidding. Well, we're going to take a quick break, which is going to end up being about as long as that round was. And when we come back, Florida Mayhem goes on the attack. Dallas Fuel. 6 minutes and 7 seconds left on the clock after that attack. It doesn't really get much quicker than that, does it?
No, Dallas Fuel did not die on that attack. No member of the Fuel was eliminated. Meanwhile, 11 eliminations from the side of the Fuel against the Florida Mayhem. So basically, they killed each of them once on first point, took the point, killed each of them except for one once on the second point, took that point. That is effectively the cleanest possible attack you can have in Overwatch.
Absolutely. That is tight. Well, guess what, guys? Sunday, May 5th, it's going to be Toronto Defiant taking on the Paris Eternal right here on Disney XD. That's right, and other places too. But, you know, you're Disney XD audience. We like you. You can watch it on the same place we're watching it now.
Absolutely.
Let's check this out here. OG had a great play at the end of B to help seal the deal here after the grab from AKM got eaten. Yeah, just a sick shatter, man. I mean, Swan just kind of walked right past it, died Unko, and that was GG, as they say. Good game.
Yeah, did look like he was booped there at the end. He was trying to go in with the bubble, but yeah, AKM gonna do a little bit of scouting here on the Sombra. Meanwhile, Florida Mayhem looking like they may do some Sombra play of their own. BQB, one of his signature heroes, is that Sombra. He's trying to set himself up right now on the flank. Meanwhile, it will be the Winston played by the Dallas Fuel. And that's a great biotic grenade, actually, onto the Florida Mayhem. That's going to slow up their approach because they can't heal quite as quickly.
Yep, that's right. They're going to go aggressive anyway with the Dallas Fuel falling back. OG only about 20% towards his primal rage. Florida Mayhem doing the same thing Dallas did, not giving the Winston a lot of time to charge that up yet.
I mean, Winston's not even really trying, actually. This is interesting. We'll see what their plan is with the Sombra, because so far, it's been pretty passive Winston play from OG, and he's not really corralling them in those chokes.
Oh, we got hacked and taken out. Hagopin with a ton of damage from that right click, and this might be a really quick point for Florida now.
Yeah, very well might be. Unko still here on the bridge. That's a very good sleep dart, but it gets woken immediately.
So you rage at your teammates, right? Swan really low anyway. Looks like Note can't really be kept into his mech, unfortunately for Dallas, and I think they're gonna have to give this one up in a hurry.
We'll see. OG's coming back. They have an EMP. They're going to try it.
That's an EMP. If anything's going to turn it around, that one will. Big EMP onto Florida. Swan and Side player already down, so AKM may have just saved the day on point A here.
Waiting for OG to get back. They did have to give up 2 ticks, but they are going for this defense, and they are going to have it. Only the Sombra of the Florida Mayhem. BQB left alive right now and on the point, but he's nearly to that EMP. Next push is the critical one for the Mayhem.
Well, that was great for Dallas, though. I mean, that's going to buy them probably another minute or so off the time bank here. AKM really kind of being the hero in that one with an EMP that sets them up to keep the point.
BQB does get shot. Oh, that's a good stun. Bubble there just in the nick of time.
I thought he was dead for sure, man. EMP, is he going to try it? No, not quite. OG does get stunned. EMP does.
Can't ult.
Yeah, there's a hack there onto OG, and he cannot stay alive. Now Florida in prime position to try to take this one. They're going to jump onto Unko. Easy kill there as that Ana was separated from the rest of her team. Close her down as well, and that should be point A. AKM close to another EMP, but they've lost so many people already. I think maybe you just save that one for B, and yeah, they're going to give that up. I think that's smart.
I think it's definitely smart to hold that. Question for Dallas Fuel is, do they switch over to the Reinhardt now, or they probably should keep the Primal because of the Graviton so that they have some more HP to live through it. Again with another EMP though, here we go.
I agree, EMP comes in big time. See if they can get some kills. 4 people on Florida get hit by that one. BQB a little bit low. Ooh, they nearly killed Zephyr actually. Got really low on that Zarya. BQB comes in to finish off OG. They've got the sound barrier on the Mayhem side as well to keep Dallas Fuel off the point. This is a really clean looking push from Florida all across the board here. BQB nearing another EMP already. They've got 2 ticks. They've got nearly the entire point here. Dallas is trying to hang out with that sound barrier, but they lose their Diva anyway. OG, Primal Rage finally coming out. Gets hacked though, so all he can do is kind of walk around and swing his arm. BQB coming in with the EMP now to hit everybody else on that. Decent bio grenade onto Florida, but everybody backs off around the pillars and stays healed up. And BQB on a rampage right now.
Yeah, but there's nobody really to eliminate him as it stands, and it's just the trickle onto the point right now as Dallas Fuel just try and buy time. Zachary is here on the wrecking ball, but gonna fall pretty quickly.
He's trying to be the pendulum here, but I think it's only ticking towards Dallas' demise, although another big EMP comes out, and that grab does not get Florida anything. Dallas gets the respawns in, and OG even over on the Tracer right now. Hagopin takes him out anyway. But Dallas with a real chance here to turn this one around. Can't keep Zachary alive though. Florida once more swinging the momentum back into their favor. Dallas buys some time, but Florida do take the point.
And we've seen this style of composition before. That we're looking at the Dallas Fuel right now. We talked a lot about it in the Houston Outlaws match in Dallas when they played against Seoul. Using that Sombra without Zarya doesn't give you a lot of damage.
Yeah, very true. Quick break, and when we come back, it's going to be time bank mode between our two teams. We have entered extra innings. It's time bank time between Dallas and Florida.
Yeah, and let's talk about the Dallas Fuel's composition because it's really interesting. I did reference the Houston Outlaws running a similar comp on Paris when they played in Dallas. But what's interesting about this one is the Ana, because the Ana gives you that nano boost as well, and most critically, the biotic grenade. And you don't need a lot of damage if the enemy team can't sustain through it.
Right.
But it does put you playing around very specific timing windows around that biotic grenade and that nano boost. So it's a difficult composition to execute for the Dallas Fuel, and they didn't do a great job of it on that last defense. We'll see if they can do a better one now.
Yeah, it's just fragile, you know? I mean, there's too many intricate pieces that if one falls apart, it's kind of like dominoes. The entire comp collapses really quickly.
Yeah, it is. It is very powerful if it works, but it's very positionally based. It would work much better against multi-DPS compositions because the total health pool is just lower.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what they can do with it. Florida Mayhem not really changing up their attack too much. Nice hack onto OG. BKB has really been great on the Sombra so far this map.
Yeah, focusing OG very heavily as well.
Yeah. So Florida Mayhem attacking first because they had a little bit less time in the time bank. Dallas Fuel trying to eat as much of that time bank up as they can here with the defense. Another hack from BQB this time onto AKM. Oh no, a little bit low here. Unco taken out. Dallas Fuel gets two, but they lose their Ana. That's a big piece. And now OG not really getting the healing he needs, and Florida's gonna be able to turn that into a kill in their favor.
And that's how it's supposed to work, Noah, but because Florida doubles back onto OG, who used his jump cooldown, he gets caught off on the side. Now it's 4 members of the Mayhem. They have the faster respawn, and it's only AKM there on the flank trying to get just a little bit more ult. And they're just going to give it up. They just retreat all the way back.
You can see how when Unco died in that fight, even though Dallas had the numbers advantage, without the healing from the Ana, like you said, couldn't keep OG alive, and it falls apart very quickly.
I mean, it's not just the healing, right? It's the biotic grenade. You need the biotic grenade to kill some of these high HP tanks.
Well, Florida knows that. You know, they're going to try to prioritize killing Unco, especially Hagopan on that Zen. You can snipe that Ana fairly easily if there's nobody between you and her. That's a shot that a lot of Zens at this level are going to hit.
Yeah, you see right now they're looking for an opportunity to use this EMP, coming towards the point with BQB on the flank.
Yeah. Big EMP from AKM gets 4 members of Florida. OG, though, the first one to fall in this fight as Dallas takes one in return from BQB. Florida on the point right now, trying to get as much as they can. They've got the numbers advantage already. Dallas certainly coming out much worse than Florida in that affair. And oh boy, this is going to be a real fast round, isn't it? AKM can't even get back to the point. 4 points already for Florida.
I think this comp on defense is just too finicky for the Dallas Fuel. We saw their first attack was just a second outside of being one of our top 5 fastest Anubis attacks of all time. But on their defense, they're caving very quickly. And I really think this is just not the composition they want to run here. They should go straight up for the Zarya play, put AKM back on that hero. Don't have to use the Sombra here. They can play more standard.
I agree. Yeah, and I'd like to see them go back to doing what they were doing during the homestand weekend, right?
Yeah.
They had some pretty good defenses on Anubis, and it's interesting to see them change it up. You know, you can see, like you said, you can see what they're trying to do, but it's just something that can be disrupted a bit easier than other defensive compositions, it seems like right now.
Well, it also just falls apart if you hack the Winston, which is exactly what BQB has been doing, right?
Yeah, I mean, Florida knows exactly what they need to do. Eliminate the Winston and eliminate the Ana, you know, and if you can't take them out, at least hack them, right?
Yep. And now they are going to go back to playing the Winston and the Zarya on the defense. So Florida Mayhem up to the same thing. Dallas Fuel most likely just going to go for the Rhine 3-3. Served them well on their last attack. No need to switch it up now.
I'd be excited to see Zachary on the Genji, but nope, it's going to be the Brigitte instead. And Dallas on the attack here. Florida Mayhem not going with that composition that we saw Dallas use on defense. They will have BQB on the Zarya. That damage and stability. Here we go. And it's going to be Swan getting a good amount of charge there on that first little poke with the Tesla cannon, up to about 30% here. AKM, though, speaking of charge, that Zarya already doing a lot of damage.
Yeah, you can see him, pretty good amount of energy already, up at everything towards 80%. Now is they going to take the high ground. Swan doing better on the charge this time around. He'll have another shot right here. Actually falls off, so.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you don't have railings. It's a safety issue.
I mean, every time you put up railings in the Overwatch League, Doa, they get taken down by the players.
I know. You just can't win if you're safety conscious in this game. What can you do? Dallas Fuel on the point right now. AKM, ooh, in a lot of trouble. He got moved towards the enemy team. Lucky he lived through that, actually. Oh, Swan, not so lucky. His note picks him out of the air. It's like the most deadly high five I've ever seen. Zephyr does manage to get some revenge on Unko here. Hagopin in a lot of trouble. Has to pop that Transcendence just to stay alive. And it does help his team walk in for a team fight win. Dallas gonna go back to spawn.
Yeah, big stagger onto AKM2. Gonna finish him off.
Yep. He's gonna lose all that charge as well.
Yeah, Unko the only one left standing. BQB already with a Graviton Surge. So Florida Mayhem all of a sudden looking like they are in control here on Temple of Anubis, a map that they have not won so far in 2019.
I don't know, man. Don't get too excited. That was one fight. Dallas still has 4:40 on the clock, though. They got plenty of time to bring it back again. They got a lot else coming up.
I mean, they would have to have another performance like we saw in the first one. Remember, it took them nearly 2 minutes to get through the map. So even if you're optimistic, Doa, you're looking at a push in terms of time right now.
I'm always optimistic, Andy. You know that. BQB. Oh, OG takes out Hagopin with a charge. It's a big first pick. AKM in a lot of trouble, though. He has to hide while he gets a little bit of health back again. Swan trying to keep things going with that Primal Rage. OG went for the Shatter. Don't think he got a whole lot. Hard to see there. Whoa, but the turnaround on the Zarya ultimate here. Zephyr gets OG. That's a big one at that self-destruct. Maybe Dallas can equalize with the grab. Side player and Swan both very, very low. Zachary just not in a position to finish him off. AKM has to do something.
Oh, Swan barely living too, and that's not enough time for Hagopin to return. They're going to sound barrier and go on the attack.
I think they can. I think that's really big, man. Dallas has to back away. They've lost Unko now, and Florida again winning a big fight, turning that one around in the end. It looked like a good start for Dallas.
Yeah, I think Florida has actually adapted very well to what Dallas is doing.
Yeah.
Don't really expect them to throw out those kind of defenses at you. They took advantage of it. They've adapted from that first defense that they've had against the Dallas Fuel, and now Dallas, they're going to have a lesser time bank even if they do make it through this map.
So Note, what do? Do you engage with the self-destruct? You just build some ultimate charge here. Oh, maybe you just try to kill BQB. Note's gonna drop that self-destruct. No kills out of that one, but he does get his mech back again. Don't know if that really got Dallas a ton per se.
Zephyr?
They did separate Zephyr and Swan, actually. Whoa, that was weird, man. Florida kind of splitting themselves up. Grab comes in. That doesn't get Dallas a whole lot. Everything's kind of going a bit crazy right now. AKM down after he uses that grab. Zachary pops a rally, but there's nobody really around to benefit from that too much. That said, though, BQB separated from his team. And Florida Mayhem, that had looked so tight so far in the defense, just kind of pulls themselves apart.
I mean, you can't do that when AKM has the Graviton Surge. If you just fly in and get demeched, then the Graviton is just so easy for them to place on the point. So Dallas Fuel gets a bit of a freebie there.
I mean, that was a little bit of the older Florida Mayhem that we were seeing earlier in the stage, right? Where especially talking about Zephyr, he would kind of go on these like commando missions by himself and kind of end up throwing fights a little bit for his team.
I mean, I understand why we saw Swan going in there with a Primal Rage, was trying to be disruptive and was trying to make sure he got some value of that ultimate as it was on the back end of the channel time, but well, that's rough.
It is indeed. Dallas Fuel with an actual chance here. Thinking about the same time bank. If they can stay alive, that self-destruct though. Zephyr not finding anybody. Sound barrier for Dallas to block a lot of that damage anyway. And back onto the point now. Florida Mayhem pushed away. Swan getting really low. Note's gonna pop that self-destruct. Sound barrier out for Florida as well to try to counteract that damage. Now Zachary comes in with the rally. Extra armor on his team. And Hagelpin gonna use the Transcendence to let his team get a little bit more aggressive onto Dallas here. BQB so close to that grab now. Oh, but Swan is gone. Needs to be a good grab. They lost their main tank. Florida needs to get some kills here.
Can't do it. Transcendence is there, so there's just not enough damage, and Dallas Fuel gonna be pushing this one on through.
Dallas is looking so good at the moment. That's the team gotten rid of Swan on the desperation wrecking ball now, but he's gonna get wrecked. 2 ticks for sure. About to be taken by Dallas Fuel. Chris being kind of annoying on that Lucio. And Hagelpin back with the Tracer. How much time can he buy? They've got a good amount of time bank used up here. Florida, that is. BQB on the main now. Can't get behind the wall, though. He's going to be on top of it, and that's where he's going to die here. And Dallas, they take it. Less time in the time bank, but they're up at 4 points as well.
That's right. We're going to have to go through to another move through this map here. Both teams having another shot at the attack right now. Dallas Fuel, though, with only 1:19.
Quick break, and when we come back, yet another round. History, man. Well, things starting to be a little bit reminiscent of a Dallas Temple of Anubis game we had last year. I believe that went to 7-6 against the Seoul Dynasty. Now, before you say it, Monty, I know it's a completely different roster on Dallas, but
literally,
it's organizational history, all right?
Doesn't matter. Literally, entirely
matter.
different players, entirely different coaches.
Who cares? Same team. Same team, man.
No. Literally entirely different people. Not the same team.
Logo, same color on the jerseys up there. Same.
Let's just put it this way, Doa. If I were to wear a Doa skin, that doesn't make me Doa. Just saying.
Nothing can make you Doa. There's only one. I'm one of a kind, man.
And for that, I consider myself lucky.
That's me too.
Everybody's happy. All right.
After I dealt with that evil clone, it's got a lot easier. Dallas Fuel on the attack again. Only about a minute though to try to get some points here on Temple of Anubis, tied up at 4-4 against Florida Mayhem. Oh, Unco down already. But Saya player pays the price as well. Zachary going in, getting a double kill, setting OGE up for one into Hagelpin as well. Dare you fight the Brigitte Swan? How dare you, you fool! Closer comes in and steals the honorable final blow, but it's looking pretty good for Dallas already.
Yeah, Dallas this time coming in with the Winston. I think that surprised Florida Mayhem because they start diving them nearly immediately.
Yeah.
So mixing it up on their last attack, now they're going to be able to take that momentum, get another 30 seconds on the clock here to make something happen. Big point though, BQB ahead on the Graviton Surge charge. So it may be difficult for Dallas to go ahead and snowball this. They are changing to the Reinhardt as well.
I think it really depends on Unco getting that Transcendence up. They need a support ultimate to deal with this grab if they're going to push fast.
They should be able to get it up.
Yeah.
We'll see. They can engage with the rally, but they're probably going to poke a little bit more just to try and even out this ult charge and get AKM closer to that grab.
Well, the rally's going to help them be aggressive here. BQB, oh, he has to drop that grab. He was feeling the pressure here. Can they finish off Dallas, though? Unco gets his Transcendence in the nick of time. And Florida can't get any kills out of that ultimate at least. BQB now, as soon as his shield is done, he might be in a little bit of trouble. Note on the point, he's got that self-destruct. Going after Hagelpin with a Buddy Blaster. Zephyr, though, takes AKM down with his own self-destruct into Hagelpin, having none of Note's aggression. It looks like this is where the push is going to end for Dallas. They're going to have to settle for 5 points total on this one.
Yeah, Closer bouncing around, trying to make something happen, but that will do it.
Yeah.
Dallas Fuel can still hold, though, on A to win or on B to draw.
Right. And there's still just about 2 minutes in the time bank for Florida Mayhem. So it's a good amount of time, but it's not that much more than Dallas had, only about 30 seconds or so.
I mean, I think under no circumstances should they run that Sombra defense again if you're the Dallas Fuel. Go ahead, try and play with the Zarya and the Winston most likely on the defense.
Well, they can't hear you, Monty. They have to make decisions themselves.
We'll hope they make the right ones.
We'll see. Hey, look, it's Scooby-Doo. No, oh wait, I've got that wrong.
Ah, yes.
It's like Scooby-Doo if he was in like some like awesome like mecha action show.
You know, it's like you take a symbol that's been around and part of history for thousands of years, and you
Right.
compare it to something that is merely a blip in human history.
You got it, man.
Scooby-Doo.
Temple of Anubis. That's right. Well, Dallas have granted your wish, Monty, and they're not going to run that same defense. They're going with the Reinhardt 3-3. They're still running that Ana, which I think is totally fine. I think on the defense,
Yeah, sure.
Ana can kind of camp out a little bit. Doesn't need to be quite as mobile.
Also, you have to have some level of pressure in case they play a Pharah here or some like a Widowmaker, something that at least has some level of long-range ability to provide pressure.
Yeah.
So, and they are going to go back.
Ooh.
They see the Reinhardt, and
All
this
right.
means they are going to make a DPS swap.
Yeah, that's right. Swan over to the Wrecking Ball. Let's see what else they got. No?
No.
Okay, Reinhardt.
All right, so it's going to switch back to a composition with just the Sombra.
Oh, but no, BQB swaps to the Zarya now. Well, they've decided to take the little ult charge that they had and set it back to 0.
Interesting choice. I mean, you do want the Reinhardt mirror potentially here. It does make you a little bit stronger on this attack and gives you more presence on the point. So I think for Florida, that's their goal.
All right. See what they do. OG goes for the Fire Strike. Doesn't connect with a whole lot of people, though. And Zephyr getting aggressive. Oh, Sleep Dart on the Zephyr. That was sick from Unko. He's going to be taken out, but OGE down, though. They couldn't keep him alive during that. There goes Zachary as well. This might be a really quick point A. The Sleep Darts don't really help you too much if your entire team dies in the process.
I think the biggest part of it, Doa, was that the play was right from Unko. Sleep Dart straight to Biotic, but he only hit Chris. So the anti-heal wasn't there on the front line that he really, really needed to hit.
Right, you Sleep Dart the Diva, then there's no defense matrix to prevent the Bio Grenade from going through. So the process was correct, but you're not doing any healing really in that.
The
unless
execution
Bio Grenade
didn't
hits your
work.
team. Yeah, exactly.
Execution did not work there.
Still sick to Sleep Dart though. All right, Dallas Field, defending point B. They can still force the draw if they don't allow Florida Mayhem to get a point, but with OG down again, Florida Mayhem may just roll right into this one. Oh boy.
Yeah, they're coming back. They have a player up right now. Dallas Field in survival mode on this point.
Florida only needs 1 tick, and they've got 2 kills already. 0. Make that 3 as AKM goes down. No more damage. Zephyr does get demacked, but it's not the biggest deal in the world when the entire team is still there. They only need that 1 tick. Oh, that's so close. Can Dallas even get somebody on the point long enough to prevent? Now if somebody dies, there goes Note. He got the self-destruct. Doesn't matter too much though. Dallas, who do they have on the point right now?
Nano boosted Lucio.
It's gonna be the Boostio. Oh, the closer can't sustain, and that's gonna be Florida Mayhem tying things up.
And there's your favorite Florida fan, Noah.
That's right. His name is Anthony. Remember him.
He's
Florida.
here. And that's an impressive win from Florida to come back from a huge time bank and actually pull out the win.
Hey, I love it, man. We're all tied up going to halftime. Don't go anywhere. More Overwatch League coming right up.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile, and by State Farm. Whatever life brings your way, State Farm is here to help life go right.
pretty incredible when we first walked out there. Like the amount of volume that we heard from the crowd there, like it was actually deafening just how loud it was.
긴장을 해서 예상대로 미축이 될 줄 알았는데 팬들 앞에서 환호성 받고 응원받고 하다 보니까 긴장이 풀려서 게임에 더 집중할 수 있었던 것 같아요.
Before joining the team, I was worried whether I was going to be accepted by the fans, whether they'd like me and approve of me, I guess. But after this whole event, I feel like I'm fully part of the team now and fully part of that big community of Dallas fans.
That was an awesome clip of our players reacting to the Dallas homestand from last week. And welcome back into the Blizzard Arena, though, here in LA. It's Puckett, I've got Sideshow, I've got Bren, and you can see on our scoreboard, it's 1-1 here. What's going on, guys? Early impressions of this match.
The series has been insanely close between these two teams.
Yeah,
none of us expected it on the analyst desk. I think Florida right now looking like a real contender now. Dallas looking, I guess, slightly off the mark as well in terms of their performance.
I think this is the big thing. We had this discussion in the post-show, and we were talking about, is Dallas actually going to be, is this going to be a trap game for them? They've just come back from their homestand. Are they going to be feeling like they can still put their foot on the gas? They don't look like it. They look really shaky to me. Their front line is dysfunctional.
I will say as well, they've had quite a tight turnaround coming off the Dallas event. They were traveling all on the Monday. Their first match of the day is on the Thursday as well. Haven't had much time to prep as well, which could have been playing a part into it.
I know I'm wiped. The players got to be feeling it too. But let's take a look at this first map because, yes, it's Florida on the board first. Dallas answers back, but this is the moment that wins Dallas the game. This could have gone either way.
This is a ridiculous moment from them. You can see how hard Florida is trying to actually take out OGE. Great peel from Zachary here as well.
So
Brit players don't really get enough credit because it's often hard to see their impact, but he manages to stave them off OG long enough to build up the rally, keep the heals going as well, and give enough time for AKM to come back.
Going into the second map, though, I thought it was going to be Dallas. They had a very fast time on their first attack, but Hagopun and Florida keep bringing it here. They both went to 4 points, and then it was all settled on each team's third attack.
It was an incredibly close game, but Hagopun has been consistent every single time that this team does well, the Florida Mayhem. It's Hagopun coming out with big plays, be it the Ana, be it the Zen. His transcendences have been decent. They've been a little risky at times, but it doesn't matter because they punish AKM, so they can't get counter grabs. So this is actually Florida playing a pretty decent game against a Dallas that's struggling a little, and Hagopun's one of the main reasons why they're having success.
Brent, do you think Florida is on the up and up? Have they shown you enough so far? Or are you still looking for more in the second half?
Yeah, and one thing to keep in mind as well is that Florida Mayhem right now, they are going to be rebuilding in the near future. Now, these players as well, that's a lot of pressure being put onto them, but if there was ever a time to start performing, it would be now to show that you have value to the team. You want to be showing that you're key pieces. I think everyone's stepping up on Florida now and playing at a much higher level than they have previously.
Well, today's a big match for both of these teams, especially this Dallas squad who's trying to get into the playoffs. If they want to get into the Stage 2 playoffs, they could do it by winning a big second half. Josh, who's one player we should be focusing on?
I think you should be looking at how AKM is playing. AKM's getting focused down quite a lot in this. He's not being able to build up his grabs very quickly, and the synergy isn't quite there. But I also want to pay attention to Note, who is a fantastic player for this team, and it allows them to do a lot of weird things. So for all the Diva players out there as well, I'm going to run you through an insights powered by Intel to take a look at how a lot of these top Diva players play.
Teach me, Josh. Teach me.
And look at some weird stuff. Because a lot of the times you'll see the Diva in weird positions like this. I mean, he's so far away from the rest of his team, but the Florida Mayhem are going to drop to the point. And Note knows that he can apply a lot of pressure to the Reinhardt, who's going to be positioned around there. Now, the question when you find these players, the OWL players in weird positions, is can they be punished? Can the Florida Mayhem actually just go onto them? Well, Dallas will just rush into their backline and take them out. So you can't really punish Note's positioning here because you would just trade a DMEC for the entirety of the team loss. So this is the situation where Swan drops down. Note's still aggressively positioned, and you can see Swan's turned his shield. He doesn't know who to focus on. He's going to take a lot of damage on his back, and Note's going to either do a lot of damage to him or boop him forward into the rest of the team. So by taking these off angles as the Diva, and not just relying on sitting behind your own shield, you can see how he's able to give his team the advantage in the Reinhardt v Reinhardt battle. So he goes through for the boop, doesn't manage to find too much here, but then sits on an off angle again to the side of the rest of his team, continuing to do damage behind the shield of Swan and making sure that his team wins the Ryan v Ryan matchup. And I don't know about you guys, but I've had a lot of games in the kind of the diamond level where you play with Divas who either just go straight into the enemy backline.
You gotta hold forward.
Just chunk into the enemy backline,
Yeah,
which
normally
don't
it's
do
you.
that. That is me a little
Yeah.
bit. That's also Pocket. And some who play too passive. But sitting on key off angles like that and really studying the OWL players can really provide a boost to your game, I think.
All right, well, final question for you guys. Well, first of all, thank you for teaching me how to be a better Diva. No, took no damage. I always get demeched in 2 seconds. But final thoughts here. How does this one play out? Earlier, you both said it was going to be Dallas. You still on the Dallas train?
Yeah, I mean, if Dallas don't get unshooketh, I don't know how to describe their current condition.
Unshooketh?
But shooketh, yeah, well, why not? I mean, this is realistically going to be Florida very, I mean, they're on the precipice of taking this one away. And Dallas, they know how much this match means. But remember, they need to win this to make the Stage 2 playoffs.
Yes.
To clinch it.
I
So
think
important.
Their
for them.
coaches have to be talking to them in the dugout right now and pressing on them how important this match is, and that they have to come out in the second half and turn things around. This is Dallas's game to lose, and at the moment, they're on the precipice of doing so.
There you heard it. It's Dallas's game to lose. We'll find out. Can Florida play spoiler? That's coming up after this.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Welcome back to the Overwatch League, guys. Doa and Monty here, halfway, presumably, through this match between the Dallas Fuel and the Florida Mayhem, but it's pretty close. Both teams, one map apiece. Florida taking Temple of Anubis. I don't know, what do you think? Do you think they can keep the momentum going?
It's been surprisingly competitive, and I agree with what Sideshow said at halftime. I think they really do need to make some adjustments, and honestly, Dallas needs to play like they actually care about this match, and they should really care about this because they want to lock up their spot in the stage playoffs, and they couldn't have asked for an easier opportunity to do it.
You'd think so. And maybe, you know, their opponent isn't quite as easy as they thought it was going to be, but like you said, if they win today, they've got the playoffs locked in. Like, they can actually just be in the playoffs by just winning.
Yeah.
If they don't win, suddenly you're 4-3, and you got all that stuff to worry about with map differential with all the other teams. Like, Dallas did not want to be in that position.
I mean, their fate is in their hands right now. If they lose, their fate is no longer in their hands. They will have to wait on some other results in this league. It's not the place you want to be after having a fantastic first homestand weekend in front of your fans. This would be a major disappointment.
They would be dead to Monty forever at that point. I'm pretty sure.
Not forever.
I don't think I'm exaggerating when I talk about your feelings.
They'd be dead to me for this stage. But, you know, the Florida Mayhem actually are putting on a much better show than expected. And
Yeah,
I think
they
it's it's unfair to talk about Dallas without also recognizing that the Florida Mayhem are performing at a level that we really haven't seen from them much so far in 2019.
All right, Dallas Fuel on the defense as we get things rolling on our hybrid map, Kings Row. Florida Mayhem, see what they decide to bring to this one. BQB was on the Sombra, but he's going to swap over to the Zarya after doing a little bit of scouting.
You just don't want to play that Sombra as your main source of damage against a Reinhardt 3-3 composition. It's too high risk.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of teams do it along with the Zarya, but I think it's good. Nothing doing for Florida Mayhem as they try to push forward here. Watching a lot of that ult charge now, see who can build it a little bit quicker here. The mirrored compositions. Dallas moving back on the point right now. Chris trying to get behind the team. He does displace OG a little bit, and that leads to a kill for Florida. They're doing it again, man.
A side player was on the flank right there, and he gets behind OG. So that's the major plays. The Brigitte gets in between the Dallas Fuel tank and the rest of the team, and that means they're able to take him out relatively quickly. The pressure on OG on this series has been significant.
Yeah, that's right. And people have been talking about him playing a lot better lately, and I think you have to credit a lot of that to Note, you know, being on this team too. I think he definitely did kind of unlock a little bit of OG's potential, but at the end of the day, he's still got to be a tank that's not going to get caught by something like that.
Yeah, at least Dallas Fuel does have the Nano Boost and AKM's Graviton Surge. They also fell back. Now they're going to go for the Graviton now.
Yeah, they got to get this to work too. They want to hold right here in this doorway. OG charges back out of the fight to try to stay safe. Meanwhile, he gets the Nano Boost as well. Tries to counter shatter, gets a pretty big one. They need kills though. They need to actually take people of Florida Mayhem out of the fight, and they haven't been able to do that yet.
I mean, they can push them back, though. That's the thing, is as long as they're holding Florida Mayhem, they can back off, give them a little bit of time, but let that rally fall away on the side of the Fuel a little bit.
I mean, Florida Mayhem, oh, Shatter comes in, but Swan down. Zachary takes him down, and Note gets another one with the self-destruct. So Dallas Fuel playing it patient. They back off. They get Florida Mayhem in a position they need, get the kills.
I think they could actually play this, I think, more aggressively, considering how close they are to a Shatter, another grab, sound barrier right now. But instead, they want to play around the choke point.
It's a good place to hold on this map. Your opponent's approach options are pretty limited.
And Florida's really hurting for ultimates right now, though. What are they going to do, really, with a sound barrier and a self-destruct? They have to engage with the self-destruct.
Yeah, Zephyr throwing it right into the bookstore, and he gets Unko. Hugga put an Saya player down, though. Note claims a couple supports on the way out here, and AKM with the grab to try to seal the deal. Sound barrier not gaining Florida really anything. And Note doing what Note does best, going in and executing those supports that are vulnerable.
Yeah, the problem is that they didn't get the D-Mech, though, onto Zephyr. And that's huge because they actually needed that stagger to buy time to get their reviving, respawning members back through. So as a result, Florida is a net win in that fight, and they're going to be able to push the payload away from that choke point that was so problematic.
I choose to think they let the payload push so they wouldn't endanger the bookstore anymore.
Oh, okay. That's nice of you.
It's very reckless of Zephyr to throw his self-destruct in there, you know?
You see him in another choke right now. BQB sitting on that Graviton Surge. He's trying to take a flank.
Right. BQB approaching now with the grab. He's going to just toss it in there. Does not get eaten. OG a little bit low. Zachary in a lot of trouble as well. Self-destruct from Note doesn't equalize enough, and Florida Mayhem will keep this payload going.
Yeah, Florida really on the move right now. Held up temporarily on B after a quick A-attack victory. You're looking at some more opportunities now. Will the Dallas Fuel come for this defense? Looks like there's not going to be a chance for them even to start a defense here at B. More time on the clock now.
It's going to be a lot of time on the clock for the Florida Mayhem. Over 4 minutes available to them to try to take point C. A lot of ultimates, too.
Lots of tools to work with for sure. Dallas just trying to use as many abilities as they can right now. Make sure that they get a little bit of poke damage in, so they have a chance to get those ults up back online.
A Swan turning around on OG. Ooh, he nearly got knocked off the edge there. That Shatter gets blocked for the most part. OG still standing strong with that shield, but it's going to end. Tries to shatter Zephyr, doesn't end up working out though. Dallas Fuel slowly giving up ground here.
I mean, they have to give up ground. They don't have any barrier for the Reinhardt anymore. Graviton Surge gonna come in, but AKM actually eliminates himself.
I mean, he was just so low that the close right click was enough to take him down. OG does get Saya player, but then he drops right afterwards. Florida Mayhem losing members of the team here, but maybe not quite fast enough. Now is Swan down. Dallas might be able to kind of hold things a bit more. They've used Uncle's Transcendence as well to make this happen, but at least they're going to get a little bit of breathing room on the payload.
Well, luckily for them, too, they have sort of surged ahead in the ult economy. Florida Mayhem used quite a bit to not push that payload, and they're going to be on some economy pushes right now, matching sound barriers, but Fuel looking at a rally they can use to play aggressively, and they're just going to go in with the self-destruct.
I mean, that's as aggressive as it gets, and it does get Hagopan as well. You can't push without that Zenyatta. Swan, oh, nice exit kills by Dallas at the end of this fight, too. That's going to buy even more time for them.
I mean, teams in the last few weeks have gotten so much better at using the self-destruct by itself. We've seen a subtle shift in the meta come about where the start of this stage, at the start of the season, it was a lot of trying to pair it with the Graviton Surge. As teams got better against defending with it, that's when it starts to be used in a cycle against the Graviton Surge just to buy time for more ults to come up.
I feel like we're kind of even returning to an older style of playing Diva, where you did do a lot of engaging with that self-destruct. It's kind of old school in a way.
Coming full circle for sure.
It really has, yeah. OG pushing forward, looking for a chance to shatter. Wants to drop that ultimate on Florida Mayhem here. They've got a couple crucial support ultimates to weather the storm, though, as long as they can survive it. Swan's shield not broken there, so the shatter does get blocked. Swan low regardless. Hagopan has to use that Transcendence. Zephyr comes in with the self-destruct. No kills with that one, though.
Big
now
shatter.
The shatter for Swan. That's going to do a bit better, but OG does get the charge kill on Hagopan anyway. Unco with another one onto the main tank. Florida Mayhem going aggressive to try to just end this fight and then go back and push the payload. They're even going to use the grab, but Unco has a Transcendence right there. OG with another kill on the Saya player here. Dallas pushes back, and now Florida in a really rough spot with only a minute left on the time bank.
And the ult economy, Dylan. Florida used everything in that fight. They're not going to be able to come back, especially because BQB used the grab. That's the real tragedy.
Yeah.
Because the grab coming out, yes, it forces a Transcendence, but they don't, even though there aren't any support ults on the Dallas Fuel right now, there's no real threat from the Florida Mayhem.
Yeah, I mean, they've got the rally, they've got their own grab that they're going to use right now. Swan not going to live through that one. BQB taken out as well, and now just 50 seconds remaining for Florida. And it's tough too, right? Because you got to build those ultimates, but you also have to build up that damage on the Zarya at the same time.
Yeah, and now 40 seconds left. Florida Mayhem really in a rough position. They're going to have to basically poke and play a neutral game right now for the rest of the time bank, and then hope they can win a couple of back-to-back fights.
Well, that's the thing. So if you're Dallas here, you have to decide, you know, how much space you give up. Are you going to be aggressive and just try to win another fight? How many ultimates would you have to use if that's the case?
So Hagopan is going to get the Transcendence online, something for Florida Mayhem, one more tool in their toolbox.
Sure enough. 10 seconds. Florida Mayhem running out of time. They got to try to win a fight, or they can have a long overtime push here. Swan in a lot of trouble. Can they finish him? They can. Self-destruct comes in and picks up Hagopan as well. Crucial members of Mayhem down for the count, and nobody on the payload. Dallas Fuel really managed to rally in that defense. That was really looking like it was going to be a fast time for Florida, but they got stopped cold on C.
I love the way Dallas played that. They fell back behind the corner to use the cover, gave up ground, but they did it so Florida wouldn't have as many ults online, striking right in overtime. That was very well executed.
Yeah, really well done by Dallas. Quick break, and then Florida Mayhem tries to defend. Dallas Fuel with the successful defense here on Kings Row, holding it at point C. Florida Mayhem not getting as far as they would have hoped for. And now, don't forget, guys, All-Stars, you can always pick those up, man. 200 tokens for each of those. That's going to be pretty sick. And there's going to be a lot more All-Star stuff coming up too, man. I hope I get to play in the talent takedown.
More losses for you, no doubt.
That's right. 5:15.
Really,
May
you
15th.
agree with that? Interesting.
Starting at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Talent Takedown presented by T-Mobile and the All-Star Arcade presented by State Farm. I can't wait for all that stuff, man. By the way, the workshop is like the best thing ever to happen to Overwatch. I am so psyched about
Besides
that.
the Overwatch League.
Besides the Overwatch League. The best thing since the Overwatch League. That's all I meant to say. I'm just excited. It's excited that maybe I can finally make Zen run. We'll see. Dallas Fuel pushing forward here. See if they can finish the map. That would win it for him.
Don't even have to.
Oh, Zephyr. Well, you know, they just get to finish earlier. OG on his own, a little bit of trouble here. They've got him isolated behind the shield. He's not getting the healing. Lucky to get him back there. Note gets demeched in the process, though. Zephyr, if they can demech him, they can equalize. AKM in a lot of trouble, and he's going to go down. Florida Mayhem, strong defense out of the game.
That's right. And taking a look at Note right now, will be able to get his mech back eventually.
Yeah.
Goes back into spawn, but late staggers. I love how aggressively Florida is playing this.
Yeah.
Get yourself a little bit more ult charge. Don't even have to use an ult. Zachary uses rally for reasons that I do not understand.
Yeah, that's not going to result in a lot of armor being available for Dallas Fuel as they do their next push here. Probably an ultimate he wants back, but Florida Mayhem have done just a good job of separating OG from the rest of the team. You know, they get their Reinhardt in front of them. That's a grab. Wow, that is definitely not a grab that BQB is going to be happy with. Nobody in Florida caught by that. That might actually just be the point. Now if they can get Swan, Dallas will be in big trouble. Oh boy, but the Shatter comes in from Florida. Unko popping the Transcendence, trying to keep everybody alive, and he does. Dangerous moment for Dallas, but they don't end up suffering too much. Now the Shatter comes in from OG. Transcendence from Hagopan to keep his Zarya up and running. And Florida Mayhem turning this fight around here. Dallas Fuel starting to struggle a little bit.
Yeah, Florida's gonna win this.
Oh boy, yeah, they will.
Self-destruct right there to get a remech opportunity for Zephyr.
Yeah, Saya player should be able to get back to his team. He died, but he does get back right now.
And it's gonna be coming back around. So BQB holding it down with that 80 energy.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on AKM's Graviton Surge here. Very important. Only the sound barrier available for the Florida Mayhem.
Yep. Not a lot to work with. There's a grab. They're going to use it. They're going to trap Swan inside this statue. Chris drops the sound barrier. Oh, no. Finds Hagopan with the self-destruct. Swan still has not made it out of the statue. He's in there trying to stay safe. Sound barrier, though. Ooh, charge comes in. But Swan can't get the kill. Now he's down. And Dallas Fuel have a chance to finally take point A.
A little bit rough there from the Florida Mayhem, but they didn't have too many options of how they were going to play that. Graviton Surge keeping Swan inside the statue and opening up the opportunities for Dallas Fuel to eliminate the rest of the members of Mayhem, particularly Note.
Yep.
Got that critical kill on the Hagopan.
Note's been finding a lot of really sneaky self-destruct kills today. It really is kind of what we mentioned, this kind of old school Zarya play where you try to just be sneaky about where you put that exploding mech and catch people off guard with it. He's done a great job.
The Diva play has been coming in clutch for Note for sure, and finding those ultimate placements has changed the tide of a few of these fights like that last one.
Who wants a big Earth Shatter? You want a big Earth Shatter? OG.
He always wants a big Earth Shatter.
He wants
Every
to deliver,
player wants a big Earth Shatter, Noah.
Wants to deliver a big Earth Shatter for you. For all the fans out there who wants to get it. Finish point B. Just trying not to, just protecting the bookstore right now. Appreciate that. Coming in, there's the grab. Gonna wait it out. Can he get Swan? Didn't hit the charge, but he did get Saya player that one actually. Hagopan can't save him. There's the Shatter coming in. Not gonna pick up anybody though. And another one. Note gets BQB with the self-destruct. That is all Dallas needs to get a lot of distance on this payload.
Yeah, they have some good discipline too in keeping some ults available. Because they have that rally, they can play aggressively, which opens up more options for OG to hit a big Shatter.
Yeah.
You can walk forward more freely. That's when you get some really nice angles for Reinhardt. Florida Mayhem on the other side have a Graviton though.
That's right. Point B looming for Florida Mayhem. to try to contest with. OG gets stunned as he tries to come out of the hallway. Now he's in the grab. Self-destruct comes in for Zephyr, but no kills. Sound barrier on the Florida Mayhem as they get aggressive here. BQB, though, the one who goes down. OG finishes him with a fire strike, and now with the sound barrier, Dallas trying to put the period on the end of this sentence with a big team fight win at the end of B. AKM going to dedicate the grab to it as well, though. That's going to be what they need to finish off B. Couple ultimates available.
Yeah, they have seen all of the support ults from the Florida Mayhem, and you may say, do you really want to really just invest the grab right there? And the answer is yes, because if you take this point, you have so much time to build all of your ult economy back up, and it's really not that far, just around that corner. It's one fight territory now.
That's a good point. And they're already there. Florida Mayhem on their last defense. Node gets another one. How many times has he killed Hagopun with that self-destruct today? That's insane. How does he do it?
There you go, Noah.
I'll tell you how he does it. He's a genius, that's how. Dallas Fuel finishes Kings Row. They are gonna take the lead in this series. Note the hero, what an addition to this team this guy's been.
I mean, he's just smart about the way he plays around space, right? He throws that Diva mech very far back when they're trying to run to the respawn. There's not really a choice. There's no cover for Hagopun to get behind.
Yeah, beautiful stuff. Dallas Fuel. Florida Man with another chance to tie it up, though, when we come back. Don't go anywhere.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
All right, Dallas Fuel taking the lead in the series with a big win on Kings Row. Note playing out of his mind on that Diva, finding Hagopun basically like every time he self-destructed. That was it. That was just some great old school Diva play right there, man. That was sick.
Yeah, really fun to watch, and we've seen a lot more Diva players start trending in that direction as it becomes more difficult to execute the bigger bang combo of throwing that Diva mech into a Graviton. Teams are simply too good at saving the sound barrier for it, and so now it's become more of an engaged tool, and it's been working really well. And the other thing here for Florida fans is as we head to Rialto, they are 3-1 on this map. So this is arguably the Mayhem's best map this year.
It's going to have to be because they're going to need to win it if they want to tie up the series and go to the 5th and final control map. But Dallas Fuel, remember what it means for them. If they win this map right now, they are in the Stage 2 playoffs. That would only ever be their second stage playoffs appearance.
Yeah, I just think that Dallas Fuel, like, they wanted to be in a position where this match had already been closed out by the time we got to Rialto, because this is the most dangerous map for them. And even if they do win this series, it doesn't do much for their map differential. They'll be in playoffs, but they might not get the seed they want.
True enough. Florida Mayhem ready to guard the first corner here on Rialto, our escort map. Getting things started, we'll see how far Dallas Fuel can push the payload. Don't need to unlock this one, it's just waiting for you. How convenient. AKM pushes forward, puts a shield on himself to get himself a bit of charge. Get that damage built up.
It's definitely going to be a 3-3 map the entire way through. No teams really differentiating themselves in team compositions on this map. Whether
Neither
it's
of these two teams anyway.
Well, I mean, very few teams overall. Occasionally we see a bunker composition, but for the most part it is overwhelmingly Winston or Reinhardt 3-3.
Yeah, as long as your name's not the Chengdu Hunters, pretty much. Swan doing a lot of damage here. Agapun puts the orb on him. Got to keep him healed up, man. He's had a pretty good day, but Florida Mayhem on the outside looking into this fight. Can they finish off OG? His health has dropped low. Agapun prioritizing the damage right now. Trying to get it done. We'll see if he can. Swan down. He can't keep his tank alive. OG with a big kill there, and that's going to be some distance that Dallas is going to be pretty happy with.
Yeah, Dallas needs every meter that this payload moves to, just as that insurance against Florida Mayhem coming back on their maps. We've seen Florida go down at the start of this series on Anubis and manage to make it claw their way back in and win the map. So
anything's possible. It's going to be the grab from AKM, though. Traps a lot of members of Florida. Agapun does have the Transcendence, though. Able to get enough healing into his team to keep him alive. Big Shadow, though, comes in from OG, setting AKM up for another kill there, and that's going to be point A, taken by Dallas in a pretty quick order.
Yeah, that's a very respectable point A time. They still have 5 minutes left. They basically won every fight on point A, so hard to imagine. It could have gone much faster for the Fuel, and that's exactly what they need.
Yeah.
See him turn the corner right now. Florida Mayhem will be positioning themselves onto that high ground. Do have Graviton up and available, but with 2 support ults, hard to believe they're going to get a ton of value out of it.
Yep. And I wonder if they're going to start trying to use Zephyr self-destruct in the way that Dallas has been using notes, you know, trying to engage with that. They've been doing a little bit, but it's kind of been used more traditionally right now from Florida. Traditional to the 3-3 meta anyway.
They keep popping out of the corner here just to delay the payload as much as they can. The front line's getting pretty chunked out from Florida.
A lot of damage being done by Dallas right now, and that's more. Are you kidding me? Look at that. Again, Note catches Agapun with the self-destruct.
I mean, he was waiting for that Graviton Surge, right? He sees that it comes in, and he knows they're going to try and walk up to finish off people on the payload, but instead, nobody's able to make it. Agapun was probably moving forward to join the rest of his team, thinking he was going to get that trans pretty soon. Wow. Now that's just going to get a pick onto BQB. That is a great solo grab right there.
Oh yeah, getting rid of the enemy Zarya is going to be worth nearly every time. You know, you pay that Graviton Surge to do just that. That's point B taken. Definitely worth.
That's exactly what you want to see. This is just perfectly free movement of the payload, except for a slight hitch there around the corner on B. Otherwise, Dallas Fuel has been just ripping through Rialto.
Zephyr doesn't get anything with his self-destruct. Shield came up in time. Kind of tossed it in there. Oh, they're going to try to go for the shatter, and they do knock down Closer, but Dallas just going to get aggressive right after that, protecting their team. Zachary gets a kill on the Saya player. OG gets a healing at the very end. Zachary with that rally, giving his team the armor from that Brigida to keep them in the fight. Goodbye, BQB.
Oh, the staggers are just brutal right now.
They're not going to be able to stop this payload coming in here.
Yeah, they're not. I mean, they're going to try and come out of these spawn doors, but there's an Earth Shatter waiting there. That's OG with an Earth Shatter right around the corner.
I mean, they're going to see him. His mace still poking out around the corner, though. He can't hide there. OG in a lot of trouble. Gets a sound barrier, though, just in the nick of time here. Now there's a grab. OG waiting for a chance to drop that Shatter. After it ends, might not even need it. Note with the self-destruct just to kind of push the Florida Mayhem players away from the payload here. Grab accomplishes nothing on the Mayhem side of things. Saya player down, Zephyr demeched. Dallas Fuel all over the Mayhem. You may have thought this was your map. The stats were with Florida, but Dallas Fuel looking stellar here on the attack so far.
Hey, they need to punch it in these last few meters. There you go. They have it.
I believe I saw 341 on the time bank. That is fast.
Yeah, that is really quick. I mean, Dallas did not lose a fight that entire map. It was 22-1 eliminations.
Wow.
And the only elimination for the Florida Mayhem came at the very end of the map.
I'm just like blown away by how many times Note has killed Agapun with a self-destruct too. I mean, it's been like 4 or 5 times at least. And it gets in your head, right? Your self-destruct is not something you're supposed to die to, right? As a Zenyatta. You should be predicting this. You should always have a doorway to hide behind. So when you die to that, especially at this level over and over again, that is really going to mess you up. It's I'm sure Hagopun is probably not the happiest player on that stage right now.
No, I mean, I think he's having a good game overall too, but when you think about how Note is using the self-destruct, sometimes it's to engage, sometimes it's to counter-engage. Like, there's not a lot of, you're not getting a lot of consistent data here. So Note's playing a very smart game on this Diva, and Note, he's not a very versatile player. Like, it has to be talked about that he doesn't have the greatest hero pool that we've seen. We have seen him flex from time to time. It hasn't been amazing.
Diva. Yeah.
But he is a wonderful role player on the Diva, and he is a very skilled Diva player. And when you can have flexibility in other places on your roster, coming out of players like AKM and Zachary, you can really lean on them, and then let Note do just what Note does, which is make game-changing Diva plays.
Yeah. Now, we don't mean role player like he pretends to be Diva sometimes. We mean he's just great in the role as a Diva.
He does that at home on his own.
Oh, okay. I would love to see that sometime. But it's, I thought that was just Beezy, but my bad. Dallas Fuel on the defense now. Florida Mayhem trying to push forward here. And we will see if Dallas can stop the Mayhem the way they did on Kings Row. One successful defense for Dallas already in the series. And Unko with a big pick early on onto Hagopun. And yeah, I mean, without your Zen right now, in this 3-3 meta, you really can't push very far forward.
No, and considering that Dallasville have now already won one more defensive fight than the Florida Mayhem did. Speaking of, that was the 3rd fastest Rialto time ever.
Wow.
So getting up there, obviously, did have that very impressive Rialto from the Titans in Game 7 of our Stage 1 finals.
If you want to make it to the playoffs, you gotta make plays like that. You have to have rounds like that. Dallas looking like a playoff team right now. Swan in a lot of trouble, getting bounced around, getting juggled. Does not stay alive. Can't do it in the end, and once again, Florida Mayhem pushed back. Nice exit kill onto both Hagopun and BQB. Note stays in the mech on the Dallas side. Everything looking really good for the Fuel right now.
I mean, Florida Mayhem still haven't gotten an elimination out of 2 fights on this attack. It's 27-1
Wow.
at the moment. So it is a rough Rialto here on the side of Florida.
It's definitely no vacation right now, that's for sure.
And for a team that has only dropped this map 1 time in 2019, Florida Mayhem not playing like it today.
Well, Dallas Field just looking really, really good here on the defense as well. Zachary comes in from behind. Thought about maybe going for a pick here. I think he might have gotten booped by Chris on that Lucio as well as he tried to jump in. Dallas Field really playing with confidence right now, too.
Yeah, and they've been using their ult economy well, right? Florida Mayhem hasn't really had a lot of opportunities to build up.
Yeah.
Try and collapse onto OG, but can't get him.
Chris caught, went for the big play, got played himself. Saya player down as well. There goes Swan, and Dallas Fuel again not giving an inch to the Florida Mayhem.
Hey, OG playing a bit more passively right now. BQB is going to get staggered, but he was in real danger right there. You could see Zephyr swooping in from behind to try and get the finishing blow onto OG as he dropped low on his health bar. But he's keeping his shield up this time. They realized that they're really trying to focus that tank line of the Fuel, and now they're playing a bit more defensively and not giving the Mayhem those opportunities.
Yeah. A lot of ultimates for Florida right now. If they're gonna win a fight, this is gonna be the time to do it. Dallas Field does have the tools to survive it though, with the Transcendence and the Sound Barrier available. BQB, you can tell, he really wants to find a good grab there. Gonna use on Central, gets it anyway, kills the Zarya, pops the Transcendence, keeps his team alive. It's a total package Zenyatta play right there, that's for sure.
Yeah, threw a bit of a victory graviton right there with 60 seconds left. AKM chucks that one out, but Unko absolutely made that play.
Yeah. Surfs up. Well, Zachary close to the rally too, and you might want that grab back, but Florida Mayhem is so light on the ultimates right now.
I mean,
Dallas in a great spot.
This is disastrous, right? You have 30 seconds remaining, and you have 1 support ult, maybe 2 more, but how do you win this fight? How do you output the damage with Dallas Fuel there with a rally and a sound barrier of their own?
You can't really even grind it out because of the uneven ult economy. Maybe if you land a big shatter, but Chris does get the knockoff onto Zachary.
There you go.
Down as well, all right. You wondered how, Monty? Well, apparently that's how it is. I mean, Lucio makes a big pick. You separate the tank and you kind of pull the team apart, I guess.
I'm actually surprised that Closer didn't use the sound barrier there because they had some players down, which triggered the Transcendence to be used. Dallas Fuel getting a little bit, I think, too cute when it comes to their ult economy.
A little bit too confident, maybe. Note there, though, to stop the payload. They've got another chance. We're in overtime. If Dallas can win this fight right now, they'll win the series. Soundmere comes in. Note gets Chris. He always finds somebody, and they have the later Soundmere that can have those shields. Swan in big trouble as he tries to back away, and he can't get out of the danger in time. Now it's just Saya player with the shield on the payload right now, and Dallas barely getting back to stop the payload from taking a Note. The one to stop it in time for his team, and that's Dallas Fuel punching their ticket to the Stage 2 playoffs.
And here's something for you, Doa. Note did not die on King's Row, and he did not die on Rialto. So 0 deaths for Note in the entire second half of this match. Very well played by the new Diva for the Fuel.
That was probably one of the best Diva performances we've seen yet this year from Note, just in terms of the picks he was getting, the utility provided, even to the very end of that series where he was the one getting on the payload, stalling it out, but not getting demeched, just getting it ready for his team to come in and win that fight. That's an incredible Diva play.
Yeah, that was a monster Diva game from Note, absolutely.
Yeah.
And the rest of the Fuel pulling together, getting the critical win that they needed to lock their spot into the Stage 2 playoffs.
That was sick. This is the best Dallas Fuel team we've ever seen. It's going to be exciting to see what they can do in the playoffs. It's going to be exciting to hear what Note has to say. He's standing by with Mika for a post-match interview.
Thanks, guys. Congratulations to Note. No deaths on the second half of Rialto. That's incredibly impressive. I've never done something that great in my life. But do you think that the synergy and the energy from winning in your hometown last weekend and in front of all those fans has helped you as a team kind of be better and play harder?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think it really just carried over to us. Even though we weren't playing in front of our home crowd, we still felt that same energy that we felt when we were playing there. And even though they had this really interesting strategy that we weren't prepared for at all, I think we still just kind of came back from that, and we just thought about what would we do if we're at our home crowd, and it's definitely not lose.
That's a wonderful mindset to have and to continue on. And you will be continuing on to the Stage 2 finals. Congratulations, that's really fun. Do you have anyone that you're really looking forward to going up against?
Honestly, there's a lot of really good GOATS teams at the top, and I'm kind of scared to go against any of them, but I'm also really looking forward to maybe playing against Shock, perhaps, because I miss Krusty.
Aw, that was cute and menacing all at once. Well, thank you, Note, for talking to us. That's all we have down here. Back to you, Monty and Doa.
Thank you, Mika. And again, wow, what a performance by Note. And it should come as no surprise to you that he is our Omen by HP player of the match. Did not die in the entire second half of that series. Tons of picks, tons of great plays. Helps his team in a big way get to those playoffs.
Yeah, really impressive performance, as you said, Doa, and he kept himself safe while those self-destructs were being used, had consequential ultimate kills, as well as just synergizing again well with OG. That's just a really nice counter bomb right there, because the Graviton was laid down on the payload by the Florida Mayhem. As you can see, 11 deaths overall, but all 11 happening in the first 2 maps, so pretty crazy.
That was an amazing performance. That was a ton of fun to watch, and Dallas Fuel make it to the Stage 2 playoffs. It's only their second stage playoffs ever in the history of Overwatch League. Let's take a look at the standings. As you can see, Dallas Fuel clinching it. That means that there are only 2 more playoff spots to be decided, and that's going to get a bit tricky. A lot of teams are gunning for it right now.
It's going to be a bloody battle between the Hunters, Dragons, Dynasty, Spark, and possibly Fusion if they can pull off the upset against the Shock in our next match.
You never know, man. That's it's going to be a good one. Fusion with kind of the destiny in their own hands. Shock looking for the undefeated stage completely. That's going to be awesome. Thanks for watching to our Disney XD audience. The rest of you, stick around. Philadelphia Fusion versus San Francisco Shock coming up next on the Overwatch League. Don't go anywhere.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile, now connecting 99% of Overwatch League fans. Catch your league on America's network, T-Mobile.